my updated FPL Game Week 1 draft with no Haaland and no Salah. Guys, in today's video, I'm going to be going through my draft for Game Week 1 so far, as well as taking you through week by week how I would be managing my team so that I don't need to wildcard out of it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So here's a stat for you guys. Over 70% of you guys watching are not subscribed. Now, let's make a deal. So in the next few minutes, if you guys get the value that you're looking for from this video, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It would honestly make a huge difference in helping me and my one-man team, bringing you guys more content throughout the season. So, sounds like a deal? Let's get into it. All right, guys. Now let's get into it. My updated draft for FPL Game Week 1 that includes no Salah and no Haaland in goals. I'm going to be starting off with Salah playing against Brentford. Really great feature, really great match considering Brentford is being light with a lot of their top players leaving the club now. In defense, I'm going to have Mickey van der Vende along with Milenkovic and Vardio, who I have just brought in ahead of Nori, of course, because of minutes there. And then I have Kudus there playing against Burnley, the team to target in the beginning of the season, as well as Marmoush there in place of hoping that he can really cover Haaland. Cole Palmer, an obvious pick there, not having a Salah or a Erling Haaland. He has the captaincy armband for Game Week 1 so far, but Wirtz is another option really with Bournemouth, seeing how he is doing really well in pre-season as well. And then the new entry to my draft is a Ollie Watkins at 9 million, along there with Solanke against Burnley, of course, as well as a new entry, Jared Bowen. He came in for João Pedro, who I wasn't necessarily happy being in my draft considering the minutes that he is at risk of being substituted in for Delap every single game week. On the bench boosting this bench is a Sanchez against Crystal Palace. Chelsea's defense and at the end of last season have been doing well, with Anderson coming in there at 5.5 being the top DEFCON player when it comes to the midfield. Wan-Bissaka, both attacking and a defender who's also really good when it comes to defensive contributions, as well as De Kuyper there, a defender who I'm looking more so to get more attacking returns as opposed to DEFCON points. So that is my draft. Now let us hear what the FPL Force has to say about going with the option of starting the season without a Haaland or a Salah.
Silence as the FPL Force brings wisdom. To walk into a battle without Haaland or Salah is to fly without shields, but sometimes the stealth ship strikes hardest. This route is the tactical spread formation, ideal for managers who want to dominate mini leagues with differential power. With a well-balanced squad, your bench boost triple captainships become more potent. Finally, the no Haaland, no Salah draft is not for the faint-hearted. It is the strategist, the tactician, the ones who see beyond the template. But beware, the Force does not forgive early misfires. To learn more of the FPL Force, one must subscribe to the channel. And may the green arrows be with you.
Well, there you have it, guys. It's not for the faint-hearted. I totally agree. It's also you having necessarily to be a tactician and a strategist and really looking far ahead. And I think that is a perfect segue to really go through and see how you would actually manage this team so that you don't have to wildcard in game week 2 or even 3 as well. With my current chip strategy, which I will reveal to you guys later on down before the actual deadline, I'm currently looking at wildcarding in game week 13. So let's take a look. This is the Fantasy Football Hub member space, and I'm in the My Team place right now, where you can actually just look at your teams going on week by week by week by week. So this is the team as it is right now. You can see actually with the squad I have 1 million in the bank on purpose as well, because I want to be able to move to a Gorkarez in game week 2, but also I think this 1 million really just helps in the case of if there is anybody else I need to reach to or move to, I can do it in sort of one move as well. So let's look ahead. This is game week 1 being bench boost. You know the team very well. Doesn't matter how we line up really. So game week 2 moving ahead, I would then bring in Gorkarez over Bowen. So the team would look more so like this, in Sanchez there as well, still in goals against West Ham, and then Milenkovic, De Kuyper coming in against Everton. I'd have Guardiola playing against Tottenham because of course Tottenham is playing against Man City, and I've put the Tottenham guys on the defense there. Wan-Bissaka on the bench as well. Sorry, the Tottenham guys on the bench. Sal's as well on the bench, and then captaincy I would put it on Gorkarez. I think the rest of the team pretty straightforward. I'm happy to leave Solanke in there as well against Man City because he's an attacking player. And then Ollie Watkins playing Brentford there as well. Really happy. They've got really great fixtures just going on. So that's one transfer made. I'm absolutely fine with that. So yeah, let's see what it looks like in game week 3. Game week 3 would have Sal's in there now playing against West Ham at home as well. Of course, Milenkovic there as well. Udogie coming in there. This should be actually Mickey van der Ven. Just say that's Mickey van der Ven because I haven't changed that over here. So that's Mickey van der Ven with Guardiola playing against Brighton. And then, of course, Cole Palmer still having that... I'll put Cole Palmer having the captaincy armband. Wirtz playing against Arsenal, Anderson, West Ham, of course Brighton with Man City. Happy for Watkins to be playing against Crystal Palace. Gorkarez playing against Liverpool. Still happy for him to be there. And Solanke, of course, playing against Bournemouth. Now, Goudis has a more favorable fixture, being that it's against Bournemouth at home. So, I mean, it's an option. I like the fact that I have a good first bench option over there to bring him in. And I could do that, put him in ahead of Anderson if I feel so. But I think I'm going to see what that looks like. Sorry, this mixed up. I'm going to see what that looks like going to the... going through the actual week, seeing who's more in form, be it Tottenham or be it Nottingham Forest as well. So over here, basically I'd have one more free transfer. So if we move on, I'd have 2 free transfers at this point in time, having not made a transfer again still. This is how the team would line up. On the bench, I'd have Anderson because he's playing Arsenal, Guardiola against Manchester United, but I would actually have him in for Milenkovic because I fancy Manchester City at home against Man United. Wan-Bissaka playing Tottenham. Yeah, I'd have him on the bench basically. And then captaincy, I would put it on Cole Palmer because he's playing Brentford. I think that's a good game for them as well. Happy with everybody else. Got 2 free transfers in the bank here, so haven't used them at all yet. And then moving on to game week 5. So at this point I should have 3 free transfers, still having not made a transfer yet. Sal's against Burnley, absolutely great. Of course, Milenkovic. captaincy on Cole Palmer at that moment in time. I could put it on Vert because they're playing against Everton. They're playing at home as well. It is a derby. Something to consider. Again, it's really going to depend on form. But as you can see here, like, there's no fires to necessarily put out even at game week 5. I've only really made one transfer, which is Gyökeres in the beginning. Gyökeres is going to be playing against Man City at home. Still fancy him. I think by this time he'll be a lot more settled in as well. And of course, a lot of these things are really going to depend on injuries and of course form. So, you know, not to say everything's going to go according to plan, but you really just have to see whether or not injuries and form is really aligning. I could go captaincy on Watkins playing against Sunderland. That is also another option. I think that's the beauty when it comes to no Haaland and no Salah as well. So I think this is also a game week to also go against them. So yeah, really happy with who's on the bench there versus who's not. I mean, if I want to, I guess I could put Kudus in if I feel Marmoush is probably not good for minutes, but I think I'm okay with this one. As well as the Kuiper versus Van de Ven. Again, remember, this is Van de Ven, not a doggy. Depending, of course, whether or not he's back from injury by the time game 1 comes through. Yeah, we'll see. You know, if the Kuiper really lives up to what everybody expects him to be. Yeah, and we'll see. Let's go to game week 6, which is Burnley. Now, you'll notice this is where I've brought in Haaland now, and I've made a couple of changes. This is where I think I've got 4 free transfers by now, and I've actually made those 4 free transfers. So I took out Gyökeres, I took out Sanchez, I also took out Kudus. So I've made 1, 2, 3, and then I also took out another midfielder. Can't remember who was it. I think it is Wirtz. So I've taken out Wirtz as well, and I've brought in a 5.5 and a 5.0 Balaba and Ghana, so from Everton. And I picked those two because of the defensive contributions. They really ranked high for them in this brackets. Now I could go for Caicedo, but he just doesn't have that much of an attacking prowess when it comes to it. He's definitely secure for minutes, and so are these two, if I'm not really sure about Ghana by this time as well, of course. But I just feel like Ghana gets more attacks, gets a bit more involved in the attack, and not just in the defensive central defensive roles. He actually just did score now in the preseason in this previous game for Everton, which they lost, and they're looking really bad, by the way, in preseason. And then Balaba as well. I think, you know, a real gem. If he really starts to make the starting 11 for Brighton, I think he really did really well. He scored a hell of a screamer last season as well. Very good for DEFCON points, and really happy to leave a 5.0 on the bench. And I really have that much faith when it comes to Brighton assets. I think they're a really great team, well put together as well by Hertzler. So really fine with those two, and happy to really have a Marmoush, Cole Palmer, and a Haaland, as well as a Solanke and a Watkins in the team. And that's how I see it, is that the money is really more so in the forward line, and then of course having two good attackers as well. And you can see in this specific game, you know, Nottingham Forest is playing Sunderland, and this is why I'm still playing a 3-4-3. Ghana is playing against West Ham, and what I could do is I could put Mickey van der Ven in there, and we start looking at a 3-4-3. I'm very happy to put Chelsea on the bench there, and if we move forward as well, we can then see that, okay, now you've got your your Brighton starting to have much better fixtures there with Wolves as well as Balaba coming in as well. And I can start playing a 3-4-3. Milenkovic playing against Newcastle. Now I can put him out and put in Van de Ven there as well. And now you can see that defense is still looking really great as well. Now by here I should have one free transfer. I haven't even taken any hits. And by game week 7, again, this all depends on whether or not you've got any injuries, of course, happening, or any red cards, anything like that happening. I've got Watkins against Burnley, I've got Haaland against Brentford, Solanke against Leeds. Like, the team is still looking really good. Honestly, happy for Cole Palmer. You know what it is, fixture proof with him as well. Happy for those defensive contribution points to start coming in by Ghana and as well as Balaba. And let's just keep going on. Haaland, of course, happy with the captaincy. Let's see who's on the bench. Yes, tough games all around. You got Guardiola in the defense playing there against Chelsea. I would pick them at home, yeah, and I can get the defensive contributions. Happy to leave him in, even if he's just going to get 4 points there, as well as Wan-Bissaka playing against Brentford. So the fixtures are starting to look up and much better there for him as well. Happy with who's on the bench. And then I think we could just, you can see, and I think you have the point by now. I've got about 3 free transfers now, again moving on to game week 9 after having made those transfers. So I can actually manage my team very, very well with this type of a setup as well, going all the way to game week 9. I'm not going to go all the way because, again, I only really wanted to show you guys up until game week 6, game week 7, just to sort of give you the point that, like, this is really a squad in which you can actually manage and not feel like you have to wildcard. And again, it depends on injuries. It depends on red cards. It depends on a lot of things. But I think being able to see that it is possible, of course, in all good lightness as well, of course, with Europe also coming through, and that's why I'm saying red cards and injuries as well. I'm very happy with the squad. I think I'm coming very close to my final decision as to who I'm going to have in my squad as well. So I couldn't be even more happy. But if you are still set on a Haaland draft, on a Salah draft, or in fact you want to know how to build your team, then I've actually done those videos for you over here. I've done those videos for you over here, so you can actually check out those videos right here. But please don't forget to subscribe. Really means a lot and helping and support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.